I'm gonna pull up GPP, a Goff triple double. I think that's kind of where we're at for GPP stuff. Guys, I think for me, I'm leaning towards the cheap guys in McCarthy. I think for me, I'm leaning towards the cheap guys in McCarthy. Getting some Browns a strong amount. Okay, so let's lock the Jags going up against Davis Mills. And let's lock JJ McCarthy. What does running back look like? Okay, which makes sense. They've definitely tweaked that McCaffrey projection a little bit because he was above a 4 value yesterday, and I think when I checked Friday. All right. McBride, lots of Hunter Henry. I can get there. Okay. Tight end in the flex. Telling us has to get in JSN. What if we did McBride? We did. Okay, guys in. This is projected for 140. It's a really interesting week. There's so wake and rake in my right ear. All right. Simming lineup. So Achan and it's Debo. It's a 3v3. Achan, Debo, Otten versus McCaffrey. That's the cash game lineup we're gonna run. We're getting to Jayden over. Granted, I could even. Yeah, I mean, $400 in savings. You know, I think we know what Otten does when he's kind of the second option in that offense. Yeah. He still hasn't caught a touchdown yet, so he's due for some regression, I think. Okay. I feel pretty good about that as a cash game lineup. That's kind of what I had in my head. I didn't really run Sims or anything last night, but this is what I had in my head. McCarthy to do JSN. We can cancel that. Yeah. Okay. Start with our Goff triples. Let's lock Goff. We had some guys that we wanted to bump. I want to bump Gibbs. A point. And some of these point. And then Ken Walker, we can bump a point as well. Just referencing my notes here on the right. I want to bump Rashad White a point as well. And I think one thing that I want to keep in mind that I have in my notes is if we're going to run that Goff onslaught of 3 guys with him, preferably the pass catchers, play at 50% projection, 50% ceiling. Let's optimize 100 and kind of see where this gets us. I think kind of 5 points off the optimal is where we want to tend to be. It's giving us a ton of Debo, which, yeah, makes sense. This is a Montgomery lineup, which is pretty interesting. Sim this in. See where we were at, because I think these sim pretty well yesterday. Sim as well. Okay, so we're doing JMO. We're doing Laporta. We're gonna do. Where's Debo? We're gonna do the Debo bring back. Just go with Browns D. Or no, let's go with Jags D because it's cheaper. This is probably going to be tight end in flex. What does that look like? 5K. And if we locked in the big dog, we're left with 3.4K. Mark Andrews, actually don't hate that. Not bad. Let's take Gibbs out of here and let's take that guy in my running back pool. Okay, flex. Okay. The line stack goes off. Where would we want to get leverage from? We want leverage. Brat's article. And we have 3,900. We pay like Otten. Just give me the highest projection with this. Let's see which one of these sims particularly well, because we're a little more split with like half of the sims either have Dowdle Achan, and then the other ones are all. So is Ken Walker. Just give me anything over a 50% ROI. All right. With this golf lineup, okay? What's going to be chalky in the other games that we need to fail and that we can benefit off of? So the other top games by the game scores. LA, San Francisco. So this would be like Puka and Devontae fail. We would be able to get to like Kyron. On the other side, so let's check the ownership on that actually before I get too deep into it. So Puka is going to be owned 22%. Devontae Adams 4%. 7.7K is kind of a lot, so really can't get leverage there. Kyron is 14%. Side McCaffrey is going to be 30% owned. Juwan at 23. Kittle at 6. San Francisco side. Yeah, I think Cook as a leverage off of Achan. Playing the other side of that. Looks like it's K-Dot. Slacking K. 7.3. The Browns are 8.22. I like this lineup a lot, I think. Okay, let's do the no tags. Everything with Goff, everything with Amon-Ra, everything with Jamo. Let's actually do this. Sorry. Let's get all these filters Everything with Rico. Where's my James Cook lineup? Simmed at 42%. So, I mean, this makes sense, right? This is Achan, and we go down to the Cook lineup. Right, Cook is projected for 18. Achan is projected for 21. That's the difference right there. So this would be the highest simming one. And Rico's at 19, Henry's at 18. This Earths lineup I do find interesting. The Waddle one is also interesting, getting leverage off of Achan there. I like getting Trey McBride in here. I'm not playing Hunter Henry. A couple lineups in here that I do. It's probably too much. Detroit up. This is also interesting lineup. All right, let's sim these 7 again and just kind of see what that looks like. Is that the Ken Walker, Trey McBride team? Because then this gives us, it gives us the leverage. Bryden with like really big ceiling at tight end for 6K. Okay. We'll tag all these with Lions. And all right. That'll do it for the Lions stuff. I think we have some good stuff to pick from there. We said our golf stuff. Let's test out our Baker stuff. What's the DVP for Minnesota? Because we are going to play big dog in our McCarthy double. Stuff. You know, we're going to do Baker. You know, we're going to do Rashad. We're either going to do Browns or Jags. Because Out of all my stacks, which ones are going to be the most owned? Let's just go like medium field. Because that's going to dictate where we want to get different. So we know we're doing Goff. 51%. So our line stacks going to we have Rashad White. We have Igbuka. We have Otten. 48%. 48%. And then I'm assuming JJ is going to be fairly, very low. So we can jam in a little bit more of the chalk there. Did like JJ. We did Jefferson, Henry. What's the likelihood that we can get CMC in here? CMC, get in Jags. So this is going to tell us to go to Otten. So okay, let's say we go to Otten and we get 3.6K, so we get another punt. So we can't fit in McCaffrey. I wonder if it's going to like something like this. In the back of my mind. So, all right, so we know that we're going to be able to jam in a little bit more chalk with the JJ stuff. It's only one more lineup. Yeah, I just want to avoid just a game that you can see how it can get ugly very easily. So we are going to be between these two for the most part. Maybe we just end up playing both. We'll see. All right, that's enough of the line stuff. I think we're down to 2 there. Let's go back to our Baker stuff. Set one of these. At most one of Rico Achan. Let's do that. All right, Tat is expected to play. That's good. Man, I need Bijan to start doing something. Stop that. Cancel. This was meant to be Baker stuff. Meant to be Baker. Rashad White. And Kate Otten. Man, I think I lean towards this one. What's Arizona doing versus running backs? Inflating running backs. What a 15 for 81. I am leaning towards just playing both because I think James Cook's in such a good spot. Lots of Achan one. Those simming fantastic. We might have to hand build this one and see where it gets us. Got the big dog in there. JSN, Hunter Henry. Slightly prefers the Browns, so we'll lock the Browns in and see if we need the salary. Man, this is tough to what to do at running back here. I really do want to get Gibbs with the Buccaneers. Oh, sleeper notification. Oh, Ted's healthy. Okay. I was hoping somebody scored some points in this game, but I guess not. Yeah, I think I want to get Gibbs. This is kind of the script of Lions pass game fails. Not fails, but they get ahead. You know, Gibbs is just super efficient. Tampa gets into a shootout. Now, where do we go from? Let's just optimize his rounds. Now let's optimize it and see what we get. The defense has some. What is this? 23.8. What's Miami looking like now? Still slightly inflating to the running back position. Makes sense. Wow, so they are really like, you have to get Achane in. You need him in there, even if it means punting at receiver. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. Let's optimize and see if we can get anything kind of near like 40% ROI or something. Another Ken Walker lineup. Yeah, nothing's simming crazy well with Baker to begin with. Might just have to hand build one, kind of see if we can get somewhere close. We are running out of time here a little bit. I actually really do like the cash game lineup that I have. And the one thing, it did have Debo, I think, on that team. %60 is what we're getting to. Just a lot of similar of these combinations. All right. Well, we want to do, say, Browns for this one. Which one of these is lesser owned? Yeah, we'll go Browns. So it's going to be double tight end. We know that. Could go Hunter Henry as the bring back and the flex to this game. We do like Jaden Waddle. What are the Buccaneers worse against? Who's on the By Leone model? Nico Collins, Deebo Samuel. Houston's just like, or what are the Jags doing versus wide receivers? They're fine. Was in this range. Let's see what these are going to spit out at us. Because I like where this is at, I think. I want to play Tampa. I want to get in Gibbs. Maybe we see a little bit more Montgomery, but I want to get in Gibbs. Hunter's the bring back. Browns defense, which is classic. What two wide receivers are going to work on that? Action. If we choose two mid-tier guys with the punts. there a tight? No, there's not much shaving there. Waddle Debo. Olave Zay. Waddle Debo. Try this. $34%. Say that. Alright, what if we saved 300 here? We got to Waddle. We did Rome. 12% doesn't like that. No, don't optimize. Five targets, six. Targets, six. Who's a better matchup for wide receivers? Bills at 0.1. Jags. Yeah, I think this is the one. With Zay and Waddle. Showing my Baker stuff. Yeah. Just send them all again in like sure, ETR listener league. And Waddle Flower is actually the worst one. Alright. Do we like Waddle versus Olave? I'll uncheck this one. They're all relatively marginal. So let's get our JJ lineup up quick. Alright. We're gonna do JJ. Let's do Henry. Bateman. Who are the ETR flag plans?
Yeah, condensed target tree.
Yep, dig it. There were two other. I tried to flag plan with both sides in mind. I know some of the content feels like a little DraftKings centric, but I tried to flag plan with both sides in mind. I wanted to flag plan Trevion Henderson this ball quite a bit, and I do think he's fairly protected because I think Kyron comes next after Rico. I like to think about running backs in terms of the order of the.
In the flag plan section on a week like this is one, I'm playing such heavily correlated lineups that it's not like a key one off. The other difficulty is threading that needle between like a play that I'm likely to actually make, but you're always worried about the ownership steam. But I'm gonna go Derrick Henry, hopefully down the middle here. A little worried the ownership comes up if we don't get pure chalk Rico, but at our current projections, just really like him as leverage off Zay Flowers, simultaneously leverage off Rico Dowdle or alongside Rico as a different type of running back room than people are playing. And as I mentioned, I don't think the setup is that different heading into week one as it is now. A lot of bad stuff is happening in between, but I still think the ceiling for big dogs is crazy. And if this was week one, the ownership would be extremely high.
Yeah, I like that call quite a bit, and I do think he's fairly protected because I think Kyron comes next after Rico. I like to think about running backs in terms of the order that the ownership is going to fall and how that can protect guys, and I think Kyron comes next. So I take that one. Man, I'm gonna stick with the Ravens. I'm gonna stick with the homecoming narrative for Rashad Bateman. Leone, I offended you in the outline. I'm gonna offend you in the flag plan section as well with the Rashad Bateman narrative of returning to Minnesota. If you're gonna play Lamar stuff, I think Lamar's ultimate ceilings come in the games that Bateman hits plays that. Bateman hits when he scores touchdowns. He doesn't get a lot of targets. So like you're trying to find the 2-touchdown game. I think the opportunity cost at cheap wide receiver is pretty limited and pretty narrow this week. Like I'm not really worried about it. And I think it helps you get in the types of like higher end plays that are really, really strong on the slate. So I'm going to go with Rashad Bateman. I'll take my 0 at cheaper cost this week than Roman Tuesday.
Now, I do like Bateman, and that is one, if you do have the sim package, suggest running some sets where you lock him in there just because he doesn't get into a lot of lineups naturally, but I think he'll sim a little bit better than the rate at which he gets into optimal lineups. I'm wearing Jim Kelly jersey. I'm not going to go Buffalo, but I'm going to go with a gritty quarterback here, like Jimbo, in Baker Mayfield. This is the Tampa Bay onslaught week. Baker's going to get it done for us. So I'll go with Baker, concentrated target share.
Bay coming off the bye week to be successful in a way that's surprising because of the rest advantage. So I like that. Who do you like most with Baker? Are you playing a lot like Buka? Ted? You like Ted?
6 yards per target, 4.8. Yeah.
Because I really do think he plays more than Terrell Chen. And I was like, man, that's a high bar to try to clear on Fatal Lane a little bit, sending a little bit better. I think it's such a good matchup for Jameer Gibbs speed.
Yeah, it was Jameer Gibbs. All right. Some stuff. Save these guys. Where's my Baker lineup? One second. Kate Otten. No. I just don't want to play K-Dot in every lineup I have. That's what we have so far. Getting to a little Gibbs here. This is interesting. I like projected points. It's telling us go get JSN. Go get Zach Ertz. 10 points for 3,500. Can we beat that? Can we beat that anywhere? We can't. Are there thoughts of like maybe Dalton Schultz? So it's Tampa versus tight ends. 1.0. Schultz instead. Sim that for me. I think we're going to take this team with Dalton Schultz. I wonder if it sims slightly less, but I like it more. Please. Yeah, I like where we're at with all these. Let's download these boys. Let's start firing away. There we go. Some 50-50s. I want to enter some of these three-person fields. Alright, let's chill out with that. Do some of these $5 3 players. do some head-to-heads. Pick out some guys to play. Always want to snipe these guys who have one spot. Okay. Where's my boy Avery Bradley? All right. Let's go to tournaments. Fire off our tournament teams here. Max $5. $2,300 person field. Let's see which one of these sims best. The Goff Ken Walker team does. You know what? I'm going to do this on my phone. It's easier to enter from there. I can enter the filters better. What are our top three in a $9,000 field? Let's see where we're at now. $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $60. Head-to-heads and double-ups. Don't know why they don't give you this view in the app to see which lineups are in. Okay, they're all kind of in the same. All relatively. Yeah, let's enter the lotto. Why not? One time, boys. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want showdown. Going with it. Let's pull up the lineups, do a little recap. This is the most we've had on the slate this year, but I feel pretty good about this. Feel pretty good about the cash game lineup. I just want to double check that one more time before a lock here. Right out. Jason, McBride, Jawan, Henry. Stay? And that's because a button versus. Projected the same. That's funny. Otten and Jags versus these guys, yeah. So what was different here? Browns, Henry. Yeah, I'm at peace with it. All right, we'll do a quick recap here. Cash game lineup. JJ McCarthy, Devon Achane, Rico Dowdle, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. GVP lineup number 1, Jared Goff, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Deebo Samuel, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Kate Otten, Jaguars defense. Other Jared Goff lineup is Jared Goff, Derrick Henry, Ken Walker, Amon-Ra, Deebo, Jamo, McBride, Laporta, Jags. GVP lineup number 3 is Baker, Gibbs, Rashad White, Emeka Egbuka, Jalen Waddle, Zay Flowers, Kate Otten, Hunter Henry, Jags defense. And the final lineup is J.J. McCarthy, Zach Ertz, Dalton Schultz, Browns defense.